to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everybody? It's Roger and James here from DisKingdom, and in this episode we're going to be talking about the brand new Disneyland Adventures and Rush adventure game that was announced literally at Gamescom last night, just before we recorded. Going to be coming to Xbox One on October the 31st. These are two Xbox Kinect 360 games that came out, I think it was like 2011, 2012. They've been remastered. They're now for the 4K HDR Xbox One for the families. What they have done is they've remastered them a little bit, making them look a little bit more pretty. They've also added Kinect's support is still there, but you're going to be able to use your controller. So if you wanted to control your characters running around, you can do it all with the controller. It's also going to be out on PC as well. Like I said, this news came out of nowhere. I'm going to be honest. I was sat there and I was like reading what was going on at Gamescom with Xbox, going, yeah, Minecraft console, yeah, not interested. Couple of like, oh, Xbox pre-order it, like, but you've not told me what I actually need yet. And this kind of just dropped out of nowhere. This really wasn't expected. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Just as I woken up, because like I said, it literally broke before we started recording. Only going to be priced at $29 each, or about $19.99, which I was very much along the lines of, yes, that is exactly what they should do. That is a very good price, I think, for this. So what did you think of this?
I thought this was a very good announcement for them. It fills in some of that Disney gap that we've been talking about. Obviously, it's nothing new. I guess there might be a couple of new features in here other than just adding the controller support, but yeah, this is good. These are two games I actually really wanted to play.
Yeah.
I actually own Disneyland Adventures for the 360, or I owned it when I had a 360, but I never lived in a place where a Kinect could really be properly used. I didn't have the space for it. So it ended up being a bit of a waste of money. But now I'll get a chance to play it again. It's also worth noting that if you buy the digital version, you get it for both Xbox and PC. It does have the cross-platform, which is not something we actually see too much outside of the first-party titles. I don't think there's all that many. So that's cool that Disney's at least doing that.
Yeah. I mean, this definitely came out. I have played neither of the games because while I had an Xbox 360, I never brought the Kinect because, in all fairness, I hate move controls. I despise them. The whole Wii gimmick of, Wii Sports was fun. Everything else since then I've hated. I don't like moving controllers around. So I have a Kinect for the Xbox, but the only reason I brought it was for the webcam. I got one secondhand. I have no interest in playing anything like this because of that. So for me, the minute they said that, it's like, even if it's like, okay, they re-breaching it. But once I heard the words controller, that to me said to me, I will play these games. I probably would have played them anyway for the site, but now it's like, okay, these are two games, especially the Disneyland experience was something that was like, okay, these games exist, but it's Kinect. I'm not interested in that device at all. So for me, it's like I've never played either of these games. It's great. I am going to play them both. Looking forward more, I think, to Disneyland Adventures. But Rush is almost like 5 separate games combined. You've got a bit of racing in there. You've got some
Incredibles. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it was like a pre-Disney Infinity kind of thing.
Actually, it's interesting. They mentioned Finding Dory in Rush, a Disney Pixar adventure, which obviously did not exist at the time of 360.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this article that I'm reading maybe jumped a gun on this, if they're kind of making it up. I'm not sure what their source is. But if that is true, I mean, that's an actual addition to the game, which is pretty cool.
I think Finding Nemo was in the game, so whether or not they just like flicked it up and kind of thought that. But they did say like new content and stuff, but it's the fact that they're very much pushing that sort of 4K. How much better these are going to look. It looks like, in some ways, to me, it's like, right, we're going to take what we had with Kinect and we're going to resell them a bit. Because I think Microsoft are into this thing of making sure everything works long term. Because the trouble with those, they weren't backwards compatible. I don't think that was the problem with Xbox One.
No.
So,
none of the Kinect games are backwards compatible because for whatever reason, when they created a new Kinect, they didn't bother to make hooks into it, into the API or whatever they use for it to work with the old ones.
So this is good. I mean, it's like, in some ways, it was only funny because like we've been saying ourselves, there is a massive void of non-Disney games, of Disney games coming out. You know, we just knew there wasn't anything coming to Kingdom Hearts 3. So this was definitely like, oh, okay, it's something to play on the Xbox. I'm liking the price because, I mean, like, even just buying those games secondhand for 360 is setting me back about 10 quid anyway. So even if they became backwards compatible, I would have purchased them to try them out. But the controller support is a massive thing. Where they're pushing this 4K, and also the fact they were pushing them as a family game. It's almost along the lines of, we've got nothing to compete against Nintendo. It was just like,
I mean, there's probably a bit of that. They're probably looking at the Switch. They're looking at the Mario games, even if Mario's getting a little bit weird at the moment with Odyssey and Rabbids. But yeah, Disney is definitely kind of being, we have to stay in this game. We can't just publish Star Wars and Marvel titles. We need actual Disney titles. And if that means remastered, upscaled versions of older games, I'm totally behind that. So I mean, I was expecting that we might get an update for Disneyland Adventures. We talked about this in a previous one, but I was actually expecting it to maybe be an Oculus title or a PSVR thing. You know, experience Disneyland. You can walk down Main Street and do the whole thing. But I think this is actually preferable at the moment because VR is still very much in its infancy. It's still in the learning what they can do and what they can't do. And movement in particular has been a problem for them with people getting sick from it. In my one VR experience, I was just like totally motion sick on. But this is great. The real question, as far as I'm concerned at the moment, is how much of a remaster are we talking about? And they say 4K, but the jump from 360 to 4K, the Xbox 360's resolution to the 4K resolution is a massive jump. And it could really look bad if they only half-ass this. So.
It's interesting. It's just the fact of how they are pushing that for 4K side of things, because if it was just a remastered version, I'm thinking it has to look pretty good. So I'm definitely, I'm all in on this. Unfortunately, like I said on Discord yesterday, it's the same week as Mario Odyssey, so it's not it's like, okay,
well, that's not like, a problem for me.
for me, it's like, okay, that is like probably one of the biggest games of the year. So it's not a great week for timing wise. So between WWE 2K and Mario on the Switch that month, and Assassin's Creed, it's a pretty packed month. So
I mean, it's an entire packed quarter. I mean, not really a quarter because I'm really starting in October, but Destiny comes out in September. I'm not getting it, but it's going to be a major console release. September to December, of course, is just filled with games. So honestly, even if you and I aren't able to get it like release week, or we choose not to get it because there's other stuff coming out, this is going to go on sale before Christmas. I mean, it might not be a great sale. It might go from $30 to $20 or $25 or £15, whatever, which isn't a huge drop, but that's it will.
I still think it's a good it's a good price. I think 90. I don't know if it's digital or if a retail version. We don't really know.
We don't have an answer.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, we definitely know the digital version, but it's going to be interesting. If it's digital only, I'm fine with it myself, but because I probably will put these up digitally anyway.
I mean, if they're digital only, then that's perfectly fine, because you'll also be getting both the Xbox version and the Windows version, as I mentioned earlier. So whether or not people take advantage of that, I only know a couple people who do both. The simple fact is it's a nice little extra feature on top of it. I did check to see if it was listed at some of the retailers, Best Buy, Amazon, Target, and it's not listed yet as a physical copy or a digital copy. I don't think that means much. I suspect that this is news not just to us, but to a lot of retailers, and even retailers who saw it were probably like, "Oh, well, that must just be like a greatest hits collection for the 360 or something like that." So there's still a lot we don't know. No. That's the main thing.
No, it's definitely. It was a nice surprise. Definitely good. Nice having an. It's nice as well. Like, as Disney fans for Xbox One, so the idea that we've got a couple of games. If you have brought them before, then you probably might just pass over them. But there's probably quite a few of us that haven't brought into this, and even if you just pick up, I mean, the fact that 5 different games, I mean, how big they are and how long they are, it really depends. The value is really going to be there. But yeah, I was like, okay, this is a good way of stretching out that Disney content while whoever's working on games is given a bit more time, because we've said before, Disney's all they have done since Disney Infinity has been remasters. There has been, bar Kingdom Hearts 0.2, there has been no new game content Disney wise, but other than remasters. So this is a nice little plug for Xbox to kind of fill in a little bit of thing, and I hope some Disney fans kind of take advantage of it. And since I was planning on going to Disneyland this year and couldn't go, Disneyland Adventures is the best I'm going to get.
I mean, there is that. There's nothing that substitutes going to the parks, obviously. But this is $30 doesn't even buy you like a hot dog over there. So this is definitely a way to at least experience the park. You can walk down Main Street. You can walk under the castle. You can see the cast members. Sure. You're not getting the tactile experience. You're not getting to actually ride the rides, but I don't even want to say the next best thing, but it's a decent thing that you can do at home for $30 or cheaper.
I'm also interested to see what they do with Rush, of how that plays, because looking at the B-roll footage of the game and stuff that I was just uploaded last night, very much kind of looks like, okay, these look like solid games, but they got locked into this sort of movement system, and it might just work better. And now the big question is, are we going to get the Star Wars version come out as remastered as well?
That was actually one of the questions that came to my mind as well. Another Kinect game, I played it very, very briefly. It was the game that I realized I didn't have the room to play with a Kinect. So, but if these work, if these 2 titles work, then I could definitely see them remaking Star Wars Kinect, and some of the other companies coming out and being like, oh, well, okay, it's not that hard for us to upgrade and use the Xbox One Kinect. The only thing I would see keeping Star Wars maybe from being brought out is that they've got that new AR headset that they're going to be pitching. There's the VR experience at Disney World, which will be launching sometime soon. So that they don't want to compete with themselves, and that's something they're going to keep in mind.
All right. On that note, guys, let us know in the comments below. What are you going to be picking up these 2 games? Are you excited for these re-releases or remastered versions? Love to know your thoughts on it. As per usual, you can check us out over at DisKingdom.com. We've also got a giveaway. We're just giving away $20. It's to do it for online store. James, where can they find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com.
And on that, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you guys soon. Later.